Hi, everyone. Welcome to Monster of the Week, Samhain. This is our finale. Yay! I'm so excited and nervous simultaneously. I don't know what to do with myself. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves, say who we play, all of that good stuff. And we're going to start with Jess. If you want to start today. I surprised you.
It's always Seth. It's Seth for me. Hello, I'm Jess. Today I play Hanul, who is using this playbook Spooky, and we both use they, them pronouns.
Seth, what about you?
I am Seth. I am playing Charlie, the professional. I use he, him. She uses she, her.
Dingo, what about you?
I'm Dingo, she, her, and I am playing Sunny Barlow, the monstrous, also she, her.
Petra?
Hi, I'm Petra. I'm using she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Thomas DiPaolo, the flake, who uses he, him pronouns.
Greg?
I am playing Ben, the Chosen. We both use he, him, and just so we all know and get this out of the way now, the face claim for Ben is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and today it was announced that the original cast of Hamilton would be in the movie. Back to you, Katie.
Blessed facts. I'm Katie. I am the keeper. I use she, her pronouns. I'm going to be playing everybody else, and we're just going to hop right into it. We left off with Ben standing out in the streets, and we saw this heavenly light coming down around Ben as he waved his mace up in the air over him. It was going so fast that it blurred. It's so fast that the human eye couldn't pick up. And as you look around, Ben, it's sort of a familiar sight around you. There was, as you were walking down the street, you saw people, but now it looks almost as a familiar sight to the hospital you had been in earlier. The people in the storefronts, the people that were out on the streets, young couples with their children in strollers or toddlers, or children who were running in and out of the stores, causing chaos. Older people who were sitting on benches, taking a break for the day. They all seemed frozen in time, just as it was in the hospital earlier. But you look around and you see all of these tall creatures, not with the bright light in their eyes. You see these red eyes, and they're beginning to descend on you as this light from this heavenly host, as you described it, it seems to fade away almost as quickly as it descends down. But you feel this power overcome you, Ben. And for all of your attack, your kick some ass rolls, you're going to get a +2 on them as you've asked for help from whatever being is up there that you find solace and belief in. It has chosen to help you. But in this moment, all of these things they're descending on you. What are you going to do? They're getting closer by the second. And this isn't just one or two. They're coming out of the alleys. They're coming out from behind you, all around you. There seems to be over 20 of them, 25, 30. What move are you making?
Katie, this is going to be, if I had a dance move, that's what it would be, but I don't. So it's just going to be pure kicking of the ass. And so as he begins to spin and step on the chain, he's laughing the whole time because this is what he was put here to do.
Okay, yeah, give me that tough roll, +2.
As my hands are shaking and I can't get there we go.
It's exciting.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How's a 14?
Oh, hell yeah. Did you extend your tough rolls? I can't remember if you advanced your tough rolls.
I certainly did. So anything with a 12 plus, I get to
the enhanced effect.
The enhanced effect. So what I would like to do, I know it says that I can rout the enemy. What I would like to do is get a strike in on all 30. Not knock him out, not anything. I mean, just the chain swings around, and each one of them gets hit in the jaw, the chest, the arm, as he is blistering this thing around him at a holy light, but with hellish speed.
So not only do you get they'll get a hit on you, but because you're going to get this enhanced effect, and is the first roll of the finale, I will negate that hit on you because this just sounds very fucking cool to me. You are going to, I want you to describe how this looks as you are doing your sort of dance move. What does this look like as you're going to get, they're sort of coming in on you quick. What does this look like as you are getting a hit on all of them?
This is Singing in the Rain. This is everything that, I mean, he's swinging off the lampposts. He's spinning around with this constantly whirling chain with this ball of spikes on the end of it. And it's whirling so fast that he, even when he leaps, he is suspended a bit as if gravity doesn't have the same pull. And as he strikes and hits, he's jumping on the tops and shoulders of some of these creatures, spinning away and slashing back with feet, with hands, with everything that he has. And he's laughing the whole time. Not a cackle of insanity, but a laugh of a purpose found and a promise fulfilled, as this chain just dictates the course of the dance. That is his dance partner in this. He has his dance space, the chain has its dance space, and everybody else needs to get out of the way.
What damage does your mace do, and what are the effects on it?
It does a lot, but I will. Hold on.
Just a lot. That's official.
It does 2, 3 harm. It's got an area effect, and it's got a magic effect, which can be an other plus harm. So it can be 4 total harm if they're affected by magic.
Okay, cool. Okay, so they take some damage. You do get a hit off on them. And not only that, but they all rile back you hear a loud hiss from all of them, from all 30, and it's almost deafening to your ears. It's probably one of the loudest things you've heard. It's that sort of sound of you trying to get a cat in a bath as they step back, and you're going to get instead of them technically taking a turn, this is going to give you the upper hand as they rile back from you because they're trying to step back. They're trying to refocus because they did not expect this sort of upper hand from you. But back in Thomas's apartment, you all see for a moment this bright, bright light shining in from the windows. And you look around and you notice that Ben isn't there, and it's Lucy that speaks up, and she says, where's your friend?
Very quickly, so Ben mimicked Thomas's sight. Would Thomas notice that in any kind of way? Or is that
I don't think so.
Separate?
Completely
Okay.
separate, yes.
Then Thomas said, I think he went downstairs, and then he steps out onto his balcony and sees if he can see anything from there. The balcony's looking out onto the street.
You can see Ben down in the street, almost like a perfect dance as he's having this fight with these creatures. You didn't see the frozen people in the hospital, but now you sort of see what Ben had described. And you can hear Ben in complete jovial laughter. It's not like Greg described, it's not a cackle of insanity or something. He's having the time of his life. It looks like he was meant to be doing this.
Thomas goes wide-eyed, just grips the railing of the balcony. He's like, you can't be fucking serious. And he turns back around, runs back into the living room. Time to buckle up. And he goes to grab his coat, makes it through the busted door of his apartment, and starts to run down the stairs.
Yeah, the rest of you see this. And I think, Thomas, you would see that while you see Ben is in sort of a situation, you see the huge, amount of these creatures. Ben does have the upper hand. It doesn't look like he's in any sort of immediate threat. There's a lot of them, but for the time being, Ben has this under control. But the rest of you do see Thomas run out, and you see Lucy at least attempting to be on Thomas's heels. Like she wants to help somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm on Lucy's heels. I don't think if I can help it, I'm not gonna be more than like 10 feet away from her at any given point. And just gonna, as I'm running down, I double check the clip in my assault rifle to make sure there's little runes on all the little bullets on the top, and I load it up, and I kind of go out there and start to look like I'm gonna help, and then I'm just kind of sitting there watching this happen because it's a little overwhelming.
Sunny and Hanul, what are you doing?
I think Sunny's like holding her arms up for Hanul to help her up from the kitchen floor. She kind of dusts herself off and grab her purse and says, well, let's go see if we can help.
We just got back.
I know.
That was what I was running from. But
well, now we get to turn around and run to it.
Yes, yeah, we can do this.
Plus Ben's probably got it, and we can just hang back, maybe just fire off a couple rounds, call it good.
Yeah, don't bite those ones. Not this time.
I'm gonna try not to.
Do or do not.
Yeah, she takes you sort of arm in arm and walks
totally.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
Back down on the street, Ben, you have another chance to act. They're still sort of definitely in this, you've driven them to a route, they're back away. Some of them seem to be backing away even more. There are some that they're sort of getting over this fear, stepping towards you, but what do you want to do? They look weaker in a way. Some of them look like it didn't affect them as much, but there's a huge, I would say probably about 20 of them look a lot weaker than before. You've made a definite impact.
Katie, I would like to kick some more ass, and I would like to do so with the advantage that came in. So I'm going to be using the advantage that Quite sent. So, and I still get my +2, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, as I again can't put in the input value because my hands are shaking. Okay, a 10. Let's try one more. Okay, so I'll take the 10.
Okay, is that with your +2 or are you? Okay, yeah, it is.
It's with a 2, yep.
Yeah. So on a 10, you will get one extra effect. I think this is when one of them gets close enough to swipe at you, Ben. And this one you notice looks a little bit more advanced than the other ones. It looks as if there's something different about it. It looks as if there's other body parts on it. There's eyes, more eyes in its chest, built around its shoulders. It looks as if it has evolved in a certain way. But as it swipes at you, it's something very similar to what happened to Sunny and to Charlotte. It doesn't make actual contact with you. It leaves a swipe across your chest. You feel it. It hurts, it burns. You're only going to take one harm, but you are able to hit it before it does any serious damage to you. What do you do to it?
I'd like to inflict terrible harm on it for +1, as for a moment the chain would wrap around the back of the head, swing around like almost one of those children's toys with the mace finally cracking as it runs out of length. He's going to jump up and drive his knee into the biggest cluster of eyes he can find. And so that should be a total of 4 harm +1 if it's magic weakened.
Yeah, you take this one out. As you drive your knee into it, the shadow dissipates in front of you. The eyes all seem, this cluster of eyes all seems to go wide with shock, pain maybe, but the shadow completely disappears in front of you. What are the rest of you doing as you're making your way down there? You're seeing Ben. Ben still seems to have the upper hand. He's not threatened at all at this point.
Can everyone see them at this point?
Yes, this is something that everyone can see. Their
Okay.
eyes, though, for the rest of you, as you have seen their eyes all be these bright sort of lights, and the eyes aren't human eyes. They're not like, humanoid eyes. They are sort of like, they look like sort of flashlight type of just bright, shining areas of light. They're shining red now for all of you. But yes, Hanul, everyone can see them now. And this is the biggest group of them that any of you have seen.
Well, I do have a weapon that can do area damage, so I'm gonna go ahead and step in front of Lucy, and I'm gonna be like, "Plug your ears," and hold it up to my shoulder, and I'm just gonna start thinning out areas away from Ben.
Yeah, she plugs her ears, steps back, doing, you're the professional. She's gonna step back. What does this look like, Charlotte? What are you doing? And are you warning the rest of the team?
No. They should expect this by now.
Yeah, what does this look like?
Yeah, I just hold it up, take aim, and the whole clip.
I need you to roll to kick some ass.
I shall.
Roll tough.
Tough, thank you. I'm gonna use my advantage.
Okay.
Go, Charlie, go!
Do I just? I just.
That's just roll tough. Yeah. Roll twice. Sorry.
Got it. Okay. Uno. That's very good. And just in case, dos. That's also pretty good.
So on a 10 plus, you will do you'll do a hit, but you'll get one extra effect. So you can gain the advantage. You'll take +1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter. You'll inflict terrible harm, so +1. You'll suffer less harm, -1 harm, because regardless, you're going to get some harm, or you'll force them where you want them.
There are so many options. Gosh. I feel like terrible harm is really appropriate if we're trying to dispel an entire group of ghosts.
Okay. So yeah, tell me what damage this does, and you'll add 1 to it.
Yeah, this does 3 harm, so 4 harm total.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So I'm going to say that you're going to take out. We'll say you're going to take out 5. Seem fair? 5 of them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to take out 5 of them as you shoot off into one group of them. And you watch as this does this have the noise tag on it? Loud tag?
Yeah, it's loud. It's loud as hell.
Yeah, it's going to, all of you hear this loud boom, but you do watch as one group completely dissipates. The shadows float up into the air. There isn't a loud hiss like it was for you, Ben. This doesn't seem to affect them as much, but it does destroy them completely. The group is definitely thinning. There's probably about 10-ish left. They're still coming in quickly on to all of you. They don't seem to be going for Lucy. They seem to be going for all of you. Not really sure why they haven't noticed her, or that isn't their plan. You're not sure. Hanul, Thomas, or Sunny, what are you doing?
So the time it took Charlie to take aim and shoot, we would see Thomas, like the moment he stumbled out onto the street, he would start doing this, like looking ahead for what's going on, and then looking even more panicked. It's like, shit, my cigarettes. And then for a moment he just freezes, and then watches as Charlie and Ben continue to decimate the shadows, and then he's like, all right, I can do this. And then he just takes a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and everyone would see, well, everybody's distracted But if someone is not completely distracted, they would see his hair and his coat begin to move in an invisible wind. And if both Ben and Hanno were to look at him, they would see this faint bluish aura start to build up around him. And as he looks up, there's the same icy blue glow around his pupils, but intensify. And Katie, I would like to do some big ass magic, and I'm ready to bargain with you and spend some luck, whatever.
Okay. Because this is such a quick thing you're gonna do, let me look at your sheet real quick.
That's why I say I'm willing to pay, because all the
Big
conditions
ass
for big magic, then they wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah. So this is either gonna cost you 3 harm or 3 luck. It's gonna hurt or it's gonna take luck, a good chunk of your luck. But I'm letting you have that choice.
What about 2 luck and 1 harm?
I'll do that.
Because it would make sense, because he's
Yes.
never done that before.
Yeah, we can split it. Yeah, that's fair to me.
All right. So, yeah, he looks up and I think it would be visible for everyone to look at him that he's not fully there anymore. And he begins to recite this incantation of sort, but it's an incantation he has never used before, but that feels strangely fitting in this moment. It's in Italian, and it's a prayer, actually, asking that the souls of the innocent might be spared the fires of hell. And so what he's doing, he's basically summoning spirit fire that starts to burn underneath. How many, I leave that up to you, but it would start to consume them from the bottom up.
Yeah, I need you to give me, we're just gonna see, I'm gonna let you use magic weird just to see how many.
Yeah.
We'll go by how well you roll to see how many you get.
No.
Yeah, we'll say you hit, we'll say you do 5, you hit 5. So you describe what this fire looks like as it consumes them.
Yeah, it's like, it almost looks like flames, but it has this very eerie pale blue glow to it, and it starts to lick at the base. I guess they don't really have feet, at the base of these shadows, and then starts to move upwards and consume them. And you could totally see the strain on Thomas's face, and after a moment there's blood that starts to
your nose definitely starts to bleed. There's a little bit of blood from your ear as well. You feel it. This takes a lot out of you. It might be a little bit before you're able to use such big magic again. Your little magic, your regular magic, that's probably not up for debate. You're probably used to that, but such big magic again, it's going to hurt if you try to push yourself again. But you also watch as this leaves something you've never seen before. This leaves actual ash behind from these shadows. You're not sure how that's possible, if it's some sort of confliction in the magic, but you watch as ash drops to the ground behind these shadow creatures. Sunny and Hanul, what are you up to?
On a scale of organized pack of wolves to like Walking Dead zombies, how do these creatures move?
They're actually pretty organized. They are in groups that seem to be targeting each of you. There's about 10 of them left now. They seem to know which ones to target. They have figured out that the ones that have targeted them seem to be the most dangerous ones. They're feral. Like these ones right here seem to be very dangerous, but you don't see any. It seems to be that they know how to survive, if that makes sense. Like they know which ones to target to stay alive the longest.
I would say, as Sunny and I come out last, I kind of see my compatriots unravel their doom and delicious combat. I'm confident that Ben is handling, like, Ben looks like he's in his element. Charlie is proficient as always. I am wildly concerned by Thomas's last act.
Yeah, you've come out and I don't think either of you have seen Thomas do this sort of magic before. And you're behind, so you've seen Thomas this action, and then you've seen all of a sudden these ones flare up, and this is very disconcerting to both of you.
I know what it takes to do and control magic like that, and I'm worried that Thomas needs a moment. So I want to try and stave off any of the creatures that are targeting Thomas, and I would like to try and jinx them that are focused on Thomas.
Yes, for sure. I will need you. I always have to read your sheets. I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
the
It's
worst keeper. I have to read everyone's sheets. So are you targeting? You're wanting to.
I want to interfere.
To help. You're wanting.
Well, I'll leave it up to Thomas, because I can either help the hunter and do a +1 forward by interfering with the enemy,
or you can interfere with a monster.
Right.
Okay. What would you prefer, Thomas? Giving you a +1 forward to like your next roll?
Interfere would make much more sense. I would say he will need a moment.
Okay. So yeah, you can give me a jinx roll. So it would be a roll weird, Hanul, and you can give it would be interfering with what this monster will do, and I'll decide what that looks like next time.
Excellent.
So, it would actually be you'll get to hold 2 and you can decide what you do with them, or hold 1 on a 7 to 9.
Yes, I'm just determining. I think I still have 2 advantages after the last one that we got. So I'm like,
and you always have luck, even though it's horrible for this movie.
Listen, I will use my advantage on this one. I care about our little Thomas.
Yeah. So roll twice.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Well.
Still got to use it.
Yep. Oh, it's fine. Cool.
Okay, so you get to hold 2. So you know you're using one of them to at least interfere with a monster. If it comes toward him, you can call what you're going to do to interfere. And then you hold another one for this whole scene. So you can use it at any time if you want to give a hunter a +1, anything like that. Yeah. So you're cool.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Just remember you have that extra one. Sunny, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Sunny is also the most concerned about Thomas in this moment. I think like she probably shares a look with Hanul before she starts rifling through her handbag, and she pulls out a hanky and a gun, because she knows these creatures, they're the same as the one in the hospital room, right? She can't touch them.
Yeah.
Which sucks because my teeth are my strongest. But I think she's gonna run over to Thomas and sort of pull him to the side and dab at his nose with the hanky. And she says, "Hey, take it easy on yourself. We got this." And at the same time, she's gonna hold out her gun, and I think she's gonna shoot at 1 or 2 that are coming towards Thomas.
Yeah, roll plus tough. Kick some ass.
I'm gonna use my advantage on this. I'm not a tough girl.
Well, it's still a hit, so we're still good. On a 7+, you and whatever you are fighting, you're gonna do harm to each other. So I think you go to shoot, and what damage are you gonna do? You're only gonna hit one of them. But
it's only 2 harm.
Okay. And as you hit this one, all of a sudden it's like it sinks into the ground, and you think, oh, I've done it. But as you turn to look back at Thomas and sort of smile, like, oh, you did it, it suddenly shoots up in front of you, which it can do because this is what happened when you ran with Lucy. And it's going to swipe at you. and you're going to take 1 harm. And it's sort of like before, it doesn't, go through your clothes, nothing happens, but you feel that sort of very singeing, burning swipe across your chest that you're very familiar with now.
Yeah.
Ben, while all this is happening, there's a couple that are descending on you again as you're swinging your mace around. What are you doing?
I think I'll try to negotiate. No, I'm going to kick some ass. Let me...
The time for negotiation is over.
Right, yeah, this is just ass kicking time. Hopefully. Oh no.
Well, on a 7+, you're still gonna do it. This is another one of those that it's sort of covered in all of these red spots that you've determined are eyes. But instead of it swiping out at you, as you are laughing, Ben, it goes inside of you. It takes a moment. The shadow sort of creeps inside of your body. Dingo, don't make that face. It creeps inside of you, and it begins to suffocate you from the inside out. You can feel it squeezing everything inside of you. It's almost like you're drowning. You can feel the gurgling in your lungs. It's like you're trying to scream out for some sort of relief, but before you almost feel that, that last moment, that last breath, it comes out and you're able to recover. You're able to get a hit on it. You're going to take another harm. It didn't stay in long enough to hurt you anymore, but you are able to, I believe you do 3 harm regularly.
3 regular, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you are able to kill it. You're able to get that last bit of adrenaline, and you almost felt the sweet release of death. You're able to, that last bit of adrenaline, you're able to kill it. It dissipates in front of you. And it's like that once more you see the eyes go wide as it didn't expect you to kill it so suddenly. Charlotte, what are you doing? You're all down to, there's probably about 7 left at this point. Everyone's going through them. They're getting a bit more aggressive. They're coming in quicker.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's gonna pull out this little peach colored sphere with a little silver band around the middle. It's just gonna be like, you are too expensive not to work. She's gonna like crack it by turning it in the middle, and she's gonna float it into like the underbarrel of her assault rifle, and she's gonna fire another area attack at the dentist area.
Yeah, kick some ass. Roll tough.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, yeah. What does this attack look like? What does this do?
I think it is an explosion of holy water.
Oh yeah. What's the damage on this?
That will be 3 area.
Is it a actual holy attack?
No, that was just flavor.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that give me a D4 real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to take out 2 of them. These things see this coming, and they're able to do sort of what happened with Sunny. 2 of them sort of sink into the ground, but 2 of them aren't able to see it coming. You watch as this holy water cracks and it goes on top of them, and that hissing sound comes back the same way it was. Ben, you recognize it immediately, and the holy water rains down on them and they dissipate up into the air. The other 2, they come out on either side of you, Charlotte. They're both going to swipe at you. You're going to take 2 harm.
Ooh, okay.
It burns. It's on both of your arms, one on either side of you, swiping in your arms. It's sort of a red band around your arms. Doesn't destroy your clothes, but you feel it show up.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have filled up all of my okay. I'm not past the spider.
Yeah.
Am I okay if I take one more? Am I unstable? How does that
Yeah,
work?
if you take one more, you consider unstable. You'll have to start, worrying about healing and that kind of thing. But right now, you're fine.
Okay.
You're a little hurty, little bloody.
Ow.
Thomas, what are you doing?
Yeah, as Sunny is sort of dabbing away at the blood on his nose, he tries to focus on her, but she would see that he's not really fully able. It's almost like he's kind of looking through her, and there's still that intense bluish light in his eyes. And as he sees the other two coming for Charlie, the ones that she didn't get, he's kind of placing a hand on Sunny's shoulder and extends the other hand, and he's using, so that's normal magic, but he uses Spirit Force again, since it seemed to work quite well. And he's definitely swaying a little bit. So he reaches out his hand, and if it works, that would be, so this almost looks like a spark of energy for Hanul and perhaps for Ben. And well, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, is this just regular magic for you?
Regular magic, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a missile.
Yeah, and you'll get a +1 from Hanul helping you. Yeah, so use magic. Roll plus weird, +1.
12.
Nice. And did you advance your weird?
No, it was for sharp.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. What would you like to do with this?
Yeah,
What does your magic look like?
So it is. So for those who are able to see it, it just looks like there's this tiny blue spark emerging from his hand, but then not a second later, it reaches one of the shadows and erupts into the similar flame and consumes it.
Yeah, and this is going to be 1 harm, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to completely consume it. It is going to set it on this sort of spirit fire. It's going to take, it's going to be, we'll say it's one of the ones that Sunny shot. And you can hear that loud hissing sound again. It seems to be definitely hurting it. It doesn't like it whatsoever. Hanul and Sunny, what are either of you doing?
So how many, you said we have 7 left?
There are 6 now.
Okay, cool.
5 now. Because Charlie got rid of 2. There's 2 on either side of Charlie. There's one that's basically right in front of you and Thomas, because it came to swipe out on you. And I think Lucy is still standing back behind Charlie. She's trying to stay out of the way with her, trying to avoid these things, but she's staying relatively close to Charlie. When the 2 came out on the other side of Charlie, either side of Charlie, she backed away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she watches Thomas fire off this magic, and she rolls her eyes and she says, "I said take it easy, you ding dong." And Sunny can heal herself, so I think she does this quite a bit when they're in situations like this. And I don't have a move for it, so maybe you suggest what I should roll or if I can do this. But I'd like to transform back into her ghoulish form and sort of taunt them into all circling her and moving them a little away from the group so they can get an advantage.
I would
Like
count
some kind
that
of
as
snarl or some kind of like supernatural taunt to get them around her.
I would count that as, so you want to transform and then get them around you. So I would count that one as a very weird type of thing to do.
That's what I was thinking.
And based on how well you roll, it would be how well you regain, keep your control, right? Or we could say act under pressure. Which one would be better for you? I want you to trying to see which one your stats better in.
Weird would definitely be better.
Okay, so
I've advanced that one. So
okay, yeah. So we'll say based on how well you roll, is how well you can regain control of your zombiness, your feralness, I would say.
oh, my favorite word.
I know, that's why I used it. Okay, yes, if you want
Can
to just
can I spend a luck to make that a 12?
you sure can.
Sweet.
If you want to describe how that looks as you transform, and then we'll get you to roll to manipulate these creatures to go around you. But if you'd like to describe your transformation first, especially because you have this isn't the badge. You have complete control over this transformation right now. You are making it happen.
Yeah. This one's definitely a little different. I think we watch her crack her neck on both sides, and roll her shoulders. And it's almost like she has this sort of half grin that comes across her face, that starts to slowly form into a snarl, and we sort of see that almost like dehydration of her skin, and that sort of paleness come over her, but she's less where her eyes were sort of lifeless before. There's more of a fire there, as she starts to like lean and slouch and hunker down a little bit, and she moves backwards, and it's not anything like incredibly spectacular until she lets out this very loud, almost piercing snarl. It's almost like a roar.
Then roll to manipulate, and I think you have a move where you do not roll charm, you roll something else, right?
I roll weird.
Then give me another weird roll.
Heck yeah. That's another 10.
Yeah. All of you, even you engaged in battle, so Ben, you see this, all of a sudden, these eyes, these creatures, they're, what you would see is their necks, they immediately snap to look toward Sunny. Have you stepped away from Thomas, like stepped in sort of into the middle of the street, you would say?
Yeah.
They all sort of snap toward the middle of the street quickly. And they're all looking at this creature that's standing there. You all recognize it as Sunny, and not the creature you had seen before, not like this sort of more animalistic looking creature. This is a much more humanoid looking Sunny, even in this feral form. I keep saying that word. Even in this more feral form. And they all begin to descend on her. Hanul, what are you doing?
I have some trust that Sunny knows what she's doing, but it doesn't make me feel any less uneasy. I think I want to pull out my handgun and just try to pick off at least one of the ones making their way towards Sunny.
Cool. Yeah. Give me a tough roll. Kick some ass.
And won't.
Yeah, that's a 9. That's gonna hit. You shoot at one of them, and what does the damage do?
2 harm.
Yeah, one of them is going to go down. Another one swings around and is going to give you 1 harm as it swipes at you on your arm, the same arm that you were holding out your gun for. So it's going to sort of toss you off balance a little bit. You're not going to be able to get off another shot, but yeah, one of them dissipates. You're down to 6 now, 5 now. Nope, 4, 5. Sorry, math doesn't exist in my brain. You're down to 5 now, but they are still all descending on Sunny. Ben, you see this happen. Sunny, would you say this is the first time they've seen this version of your of your monster?
Oh yeah. At least this in control and this powerful. Normally, I think when they see her, it's a little bit more horrifying. There's more going on with her, but this is this is definitely different.
And Ben, you know that voice you had heard before telling you to protect Lucy from that monster? You don't hear it. You feel a sense of peace that this is okay. What are you doing? They are all they're leaving you completely. There's one more that seems to have all of the different versions of the red lights on it, but it's completely going over to Sunny now. Whatever they are, they want Sunny.
Okay. Mechanics question that I've asked 2 episodes ago and must ask again. Can I roll and then spend luck, or do I have to declare luck?
No, luck is spent after.
Okay.
Yes.
I am going to kick some ass first, and then decide whether or not I'm going to use luck.
Okay.
And then, let me before I say anything, I'll just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, advantage before, luck after.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, so 16.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
I will not be using luck.
Holy shit.
Here's what Ben does.
That's the highest thing you could. God damn you, Greg!
I am powered by the apocalypse, I fear. Okay, so he's the chain is spinning above his head, and he sees them all moving towards Sunny, and he kind of cocks his head as the air from the vortex above him buffets him a bit, and he realizes they're all lining up as they're going towards Sunny. And he smiles, and the spin above becomes a spin almost like a bowling ball at his hip. And he lines up as the last member of this hiking party of ghouls that are heading towards his goal. And so as he lines everybody up, he waits, and he said, "That's my friend!" And he fires a shot, so it takes all 5 of the heads with one shot.
I suddenly become a mean GM. Just suddenly become a really mean GM. God damn it, Greg.
Yeet the flail.
Yeah. And because you do 4 damage, give me a D4 roll.
Sure. 3.
You're going to take out 3 of them. Not the one closest to Sunny. You're going to take out 3 of them. But I'm going to let you have this. Yeah, completely. You take out, all of you see as Ben does this, as 3 of their shadow head, it completely goes through their heads. The shadows dissipate. They don't really pop off because there's no matter there, but if they were bodies, you would see their heads completely pop off. Ben, you succeed in this completely. And their bodies dissipate into the air. I'm so angry right now.
Did they turn into smoke like they normally do?
Yeah, they turned into smoke, yeah.
Then he would spare a look through the battle at Thomas. "I told you smoking's bad for you."
Speaking of Thomas, you are no longer standing beside Sunny. You watched up close as this transformation happened to her. What are you doing? You're not feeling too well. You're feeling, I mean, the best way to describe it would be you're feeling very drained as you've used a lot of this magic. In fact, Lucy is the one that comes over to you and looks up at you in the midst of all this battle. She looks up at you with a sort of very concerned look on her face, and she says, "I think you should take it easy."
Yeah, he looks at her, and he sort of wipes off more blood that's coming from his nose, and he does the same thing where he sort of just grounds himself, and the bluish aura fades, and his eyes go back to normal. And then he looks to the side just in time to see Greg play bowling with those. And then he hears him say, what he just said. He's like, "I forgot my cigarettes upstairs. You happy now?" And then he just uses his normal, simple magic, saying an incantation. He doesn't have any focus on him, so I'm not going to use any advantage. But the normal saying an incantation, doing some hand movements and whatnot to see if he can take out one more of those that are coming for Sunny.
Yeah, there are only 2 left now. Give me a weird roll. But because of I want you to take it's going to be a -1 on this because of what your current condition.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so it's going to be a 10. It's still going to succeed. Are you going to do just inflict harm on it?
Yeah, I would do so. I would say so.
Okay.
And it
yeah.
just, what does it look like? I don't know, like a gust of, let's say like a gust of wind.
Yeah, it's just going to do a bit of harm on this guy, just 1 harm. It's still standing, but the shadow seems to reform after a moment. It seems like it gets moved aside from where it is, just pushed out of space, so it's not in a line anymore. But after a moment, it reforms. Sunny and Hanua, what are you on? What are you doing?
My jaw is on the floor. Like if it, ban. Gosh, Okay, explain to me one more time. Like, I have 1 hold right now.
You have 1 hold to do with on that jinx list. You can do whatever you want on that list of jinx.
Okay, I see.
Charlotte's still got to go. You can help Charlotte somehow. Sunny still got to go. You can help yourself, I believe. Maybe if there's an option on there that helps you. But Charlotte and Sunny still have. They're still in our. PbtA doesn't really have initiative, but they haven't taken an action, so you can still assist them maybe.
For sure. How is our Babu doing? Lucy?
She is standing beside Thomas. She's sort of worried about Thomas. She hasn't been hurt or harmed or anything. She's staying out of the way.
Okay, I think I need to wait until someone else takes an action.
Okay. Yeah, if you see that one of them is taking an action, I have no problem with you saying, hey, wait, I want to, I have no problem with it sort of being used as a reaction. I have no problem.
I appreciate it.
Charlotte, Sunny,
what
either of you want to do?
Sunny's doing is just being essentially just a lightning rod, so.
Okay, then I need you to act under pressure because they are definitely trying to take a chomp, some kind of action out of you. I'm going to give you a +1 on it because of your ghoulie status. So roll plus cool with +1. Oh, good job. Yeah, how do you want to avoid this? One of them is basically trying to envelop you with their shadow. They're not trying to I think basically trying to suffocate you. They want to try to end your life with their shadows.
Yeah.
You know you can't bite it. You know that
I can't touch it, yeah.
Yeah, you know that it's sort of out of your reach, so how are you trying to avoid this? You're going to succeed, but how are you doing that?
Well, I think she's been trying to line herself up with Charlotte, because she's sort of aware of where everyone is around her, sort of extending her senses. And I think as it's sort of reaching out to swipe her, she's just going to very simply just almost, because she's dead, right? So she can kind of unnaturally bend herself backwards. Not really wanted status, or not wanted matrix status, but almost kind of like that, just a little more icky.
Way ickier. Yep, you do that. Charlotte, you see this happen. You sort of see that might be your chance. There's 2 that are there left. What are you doing?
Just speed reload, drop the clip, slap in another one, and shoot my shooting gun. Also, question, I just realized that I own armor, which gives me 1 armor. Does that soak a damage every time I take damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh goodness. I
Cool.
can't complain because I forget it all the time too. I'll let you take away 1 harm retroactively, just because I will too for you, Ben, because you have armor too. You'll take 1 away. If you have forgotten you have armor, I'll let you take away 1 harm that you've taken during this battle.
Thank you. Also, shut up, Summer.
Shut up.
So I'm gonna take a pew pew shot.
Yeah, go ahead. Kick some ass. Roll tough.
There's more than 1, right?
Yeah, there's 2 left.
Okay. I'm just gonna do area. I don't know if I have to declare it or anything, but
I'll just ask what the tags are on your whatever weapon you're using. It's fine.
Okay.
Would you like to use luck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a 12 plus.
Thank God.
Did you advance your tough?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll just say that you didn't.
I'm
so
gonna
yeah.
say no.
What's your extra effect? You gain the advantage, +1 forward, or give 1 to another hunter. You do terrible harm, you suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them.
I'm gonna suffer less harm because I'm getting a little close to the bad place.
Okay, yeah, and then give me a D4 roll, please. We're gonna see if you can.
Love to. I'm gonna roll. I'm like high and then high five God.
Yeah. Not only do you manage not to hurt Sunny in this, you manage to. You get the trajectory perfect enough that you get it far away enough that the blast isn't going to hurt her as she leans back. But the blast hits both of them enough that, yeah, this blast takes them both out. You watch as they dissipate into the sky. And as this happens, it's almost in a blink of the eye, all of you look around and this town is back to normal. Brookings seems to be as if nothing happened, as if you weren't all just in a fight. You're standing there with your weapons drawn, so you get some weird looks. You're in the middle of the street. Ben, you hear a horn hawk behind you. You do too, Sunny. You're standing there. Luckily, it's close to Halloween, so no one seems all the wiser. But yeah, there's a loud horn hawk, and you hear, can you move, please? We're in a hurry. As the horn honks again, trying to get you out of the way as Brookings, New York continues to go about its business.
Yeah, Ben would kind of touch the hood a little bit and be like, sorry, hey, just remember, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it.
Lucy comes up to you, Thomas, and holds her hand out. We should probably go.
Yeah, probably for the best. And he takes her hand, starts to walk back.
Does Charlie need help carrying your luggage or anything? I feel like you're wounded.
I think she's okay. She's just kind of like, I'm like leaned over, just packing my assault rifle back into that suitcase, and then just take a weary stand up and look at Hanu and kind of go, just kind of overwhelmed.
Yeah. Did time just stop? Like, where'd the car come from? I don't understand.
I tend not to ask questions at this point. And I kind of go towards Ben, and I'm like, hey, Ben.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Did you know that you were going to win, or were you just running off after a glorious death?
I was confident.
Well, seeing as how you did great and we did great, I'm technically not allowed to get mad at you.
Oh, you can feel however you want to feel. It's always valid.
Good job.
You too. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'll need to, does anybody need, and she slaps the briefcase. for like healing?
I mean, if you've got an ibuprofen in there, I think I threw my back out.
You know I do. uh,
Thomas
do
would.
you? Oh, good.
Sorry, Thomas would turn around and just say, "I've got more stuff upstairs."
Yeah, let's take a break. You look like you need it too, Charlie.
Sure, if everybody else is up for it. I
Like
follow the
bump
group.
shoulders with Thomas. I'm like, I think I could go for a smoke.
Well, don't let Ben catch you.
When you're all up in the apartment, Lucy comes up to you, Charlie, as you're sort of getting all your healing things together, and she says, can I help?"
Yeah, I think you could. Let's see here, and I just look for something banal for her to feel helpful with, maybe.
She goes up to you, Ben, first. She puts her hand, she takes the things that Charlie gives her. But you notice she doesn't really know what she's doing, of course. She's only 13. She doesn't really know how to do things. She sort of puts the gauze on the wrong way. But you notice that her hands feel warm as she's sort of tending to your wounds. You feel something that doesn't feel natural. It's warmer than it should be. How much harm do you have?
1.
Yeah, she's going to heal that up without the use of Charlie's things.
Mm.
She's
Yeah,
going to
Thomas-
smile at you.
Thank you.
In the background, Thomas just started the water kettle, and then just goes to the bathroom to clean up. Just stare in the mirror for a good long time.
Who else needs help? She's going to go over to Thomas, I think. She saw you really get a little messed up.
I don't have that much, actually. I have just one. Because I only took one, and I healed one from last time.
She's going to go over you, hand you the gauze,
Thank
and
you.
then ask, do you have anything other than milk?
Scotch.
No, Thomas actually doesn't have any alcohol in his apartment. And he says, yeah, I think I have... do you like tea?
Oh, yeah, I really do.
All right, any preference?
Peppermint's my favorite.
Okay. And then he sort of perks up a little bit and walks her to the kitchen. And then he says, peppermint is always a good choice. But I also have, and then he just starts to rattle off all the different herbal teas that he could make for her. And says, but again, peppermint is always a good choice.
Yeah, she waits, and then she takes the gauze back and heads back over to Charlotte to hand it back to her. Here you go.
Did I notice anything when she was doing healing, or was it very subtle?
Were you paying attention? You think you would be like keeping an eye on her?
I feel like she's
Yeah.
in a pretty mama bird mode right now.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see
Okay.
why not.
So really quietly, almost like she's trying to not let the rest of the group hear, sort of thing. As she kind of like takes the stuff back, she's like, thank you. How long have you been able to do that?
Sometimes I can just do things.
That's pretty handy.
I haven't been able to see anything in the future since I've been in that school, but sometimes I can still do little things like that. And all of you seem really nice, so I want to help.
We try. If you do see anything, you'll kind of let us know, yeah?
Of course.
Cool. Sounds like you're one of the team then.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Do you want to see the future?
Sometimes it helped, you know? Like, I could see if bad things were going to happen. But then sometimes it was scary. And then sometimes it was used for bad things. That was the worst part.
I look at the rest of the crew and I'm like, not my favorite. I'm like, so people used you?
Well, Professor Aptera used us, all of us. We learned a lot of things. I won't say that we didn't. A lot of us learned how to really use our powers and tap into them. And we got really good at parts. But if it wasn't for him, if we didn't learn the right things, and, well, you saw what happened to a lot of us.
Well, we're going to take care of Aptera. And she sort of sits down next to Lucy. And now you can use your powers for good, the way you want to use them. You don't have to do anything for anybody else if you don't want to.
I like the sound of that.
Me too. And I think she just sort of absently brushes her hair back a little bit and she says, "Would you like some braids? I think you'd look very cute with pigtails."
Yeah, she just smiles. Probably the first time she's ever been offered to have pigtails, braided pigtails.
Yeah, she just kind of smiles and starts braiding her hair.
I'm gonna apply the first aid kit on myself to remove some harm, and as
Yeah.
I'm putting that like translucent blue sticker with like the golden Cyrillic kanji on my arm, I'm like, oh, by the way, anybody who uses one of these, don't drink grapefruit juice for like, I don't know, the rest of the year. I'm not sure. Don't ask why.
Give me that cool roll, friendo.
Do it. Am I gonna hurt myself right now?
Oh, remember to, I may not even matter, but remember to mark experience for that fail earlier.
Oh, I did forget. Okay.
You might level up this session. Who knows?
That'd be tight. Actually, I think that would make me level up. 12.
Yeah. So you heal 2 harm and you are stabilized if needed.
All right, I'm good. I'm gravy.
Well, grapefruit juice is just bad, so that's good advice.
As you're braiding her hair, Lucy looks up to you, Sunny, and then looks up to the rest of you. Are we going back to the House of Solomon?
So we do.
I know where he is. I can get us down there.
If you don't want to go, you don't have to.
I mean, I don't want to go, but I know I need to. And I think I can.
That's very brave of you. You could maybe draw just a really cool picture. Or are you saying there are more insidious things?
I think they mean like a map, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, you could draw a map, but I feel like this house is calling them.
Thomas would look at Charlie and ask, should we rest for the day? I think it's been enough.
Sure. Yeah. We could do that.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Hopefully not.
Lucy, do you think there's a chance to help your friends who aren't fully gone yet? And he looks at Hanul and says, they seem to be helpful and willing to help.
Some of them didn't seem completely gone.
I don't know if there's a way to bring them back, but maybe we can help them find peace.
I'll see what I can do. And I think Thomas would actually start walking around, grabbing a few books, carrying them off into his bedroom. Just start some research.
Nice.
I have a question. Because I can't remember.
Yes.
Was anybody else in the room when Thomas asked out Ben?
No,
Or was
you
that-
were
were they-
you were at Sunny's place.
Damn it.
Is there anything else anyone wanted to do during your little downtime?
Thomas would definitely take another look at PbtA's journal.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, you said last time he was talking about his sister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would like me to roll for that, but I would like to know what her name is. And I get the impression that they had a really good relationship because you mentioned that she was his teacher of sorts. I would like to find out more about her, like her full name. Yeah, anything.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. You've already gone through the book, so we can just say that you go a little deeper. Her name was Saba, Sabah. And you just basically find out that they were close. They were basically best friends. Probably as closer as close as the closest siblings could be. And she taught him everything that he knew about witchcraft, about the elements, about nature, that sort of thing. And that when she came down with the illness, he did everything he could to try and save her, to try and make things better. And he felt that he was robbed of her when she passed away regardless. And he couldn't find a way to bring her back. And he knew that it was logical that, you can't bring back someone from the dead. That was the logical part of it. But that even though he couldn't bring her back from the dead, he was going to at least elongate his own life to save people from the pain that he felt of losing her.
And do I get the general feeling that she was a good person?
Oh yes, he was too. I mean, you get that sense as well.
Yeah. You
that
said that
they
last
were
time.
both very, very good people. That he started this sort of mission of his to make people not have to lose the people that they loved like he loved her. He didn't want families to be broken apart and stuff. It was that sort of time on his mind that turned it sour, that turned it this way.
Okay, last question I would have. Is any part of the book written by her, or does he
all him
say anything? Okay. Like if we were to go back to the House of Solomon, is there anything, does he mention anything that would belong to her? Any kind of keepsake that he kept?
That you can find in there.
Okay.
It's mostly it's very much his story, telling about her, his feelings of her, of his life, of like the things he's done. There's not really any sort of keepsake memorabilia about her. No.
All right. Yeah, so then I think for the rest of this day, Thomas would just walk back and forth in and out of his bedroom, and the door is just open, it's not closed. And soon there would be just a mess on his bed of notes and him scribbling and drawing conjuring circles, or what looks like conjuring circles, and just, yeah.
anyone else have anything they wanted to look into or do while you had a day to rest? And if you had any extra harm, you would heal up, because you're taking downtime basically.
I kind of want to check in on Ben. Like, where's Ben's mental state after all that? And I like bump shoulders with Ben. I'm like, so bowling, huh?
Yep, bowling. You lined up, just...
That was pretty freaking brilliant.
And Sonny's the one that did it. I just took advantage of it.
Yeah, you swing the weapon around real good. So just wondering how are you doing after dealing all that damage?
Okay, thank you for asking. I feel good. I feel confident. I feel comfy with all of you.
What's it like to feel comfy around people?
You don't hug a lot, do you?
No.
That's fine, but that's the only way that I can really, for me, what comfy feels like.
No, I don't like getting disappointed, because hugging is sometimes the only way I know if someone's real or a spirit, and I don't do it very often. I'd rather just not know.
I understand. I tell you what, whenever you don't do things a lot, some people don't watch the sunrise a lot, some people don't dance a lot, which is awful, but when they do, they tend to remember it. Whether it's good or whether it's a bad dance, they remember that they danced. They usually remember the song that was playing when they at least attempted. So I know that you don't hug a lot, but... And Ben opens up his arms.
I think you have a good point, and you're right. It is pretty memorable when you do stuff, isn't it? And I like shuffle over and try to hug Ben.
Ben will give you the biggest hug that can be generated from a Lin-Manuel Miranda frame. Just fur from the jacket, everything is put into the comfiest hug that can be generated.
Okay, this could be comfy. There's a feeling that is happening with this. Thank you.
Yeah, he'll pull back. It's not for everybody, and then he goes back in for the hug.
That's good. I think I learned something today. Thanks.
Thank you. It's my first hug of the day.
You do multiple?
Whenever I can, sure.
Okay. Good to know that the frequency is not weird.
To each their own, but thank you very much for the hug and asking if I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are you? Are you comfy?
I'm chilling. I'm learning what comfy means, and that's new. And I think probably comfy means different things for other people. So
Does, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you. I'm gonna go find Thomas, maybe.
Okay.
I'm gonna test the hug.
Ben gives you a big, like, Wink back.
I think if that's all, the night comes to an end. Nothing else happens. It's a pretty easy night filled with research and all of you getting some much needed rest. It's been a very, very busy day. But as the sun rises, who's awake first, you would say?
Yo.
Yeah, I would say probably Charlotte as well. Yeah, Lucy wakes up very much after you. She's ready and rearing to go. She's nervous, but she seems like she's sort of bracing herself for anything that's to happen, even if it's for you to tell her to stay behind. She's got the book from PbtA. She's marked the page for you, Thomas, where she told you the code to get behind the portrait. So even if you don't end up taking her, you're ready to go. She's sort of it's obvious that she's a little bit scared, but she's trying to put on a brave face.
Thomas would have told the others that at least the voices at the place told him that Lucy would be crucial, that she has to be at this place. I mean, whether or not we want to, listen to that is another question.
I'm sorry, can you say that again for me?
I said Thomas would definitely have told the others that when he checked in with the voices at the house, that they told him Lucy was basically crucial for the final act of whatever was going to happen at that place. And sort of he would remind Charlie, but in a moment when Lucy isn't around, and then just say, I mean, I'm not sure if we would want to follow that call, though.
Well, I mean, she wants to go, so I think we're gonna let her. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I tell you to, though, you will take her and run, though. Make that very clear. Just in case, it's the last one.
Have we mentioned anything to Charlie's boss?
No. Charlie puts Ashford on a need-to-know basis.
Word.
Yeah.
What even are our official instructions regarding PbtA?
Katie, I feel like I brought up PbtA last time, right?
You did, but it hasn't been like, basically your instructions were to solve this problem, and that means any means necessary.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just like, I wish I could say no news is good news, but they're running very quiet on this one, so we just do the job and keep our heads down.
But are we meant to kill him?
They didn't specify, so it's kind of
So
up
they don't
to
have
us.
to take responsibility for what happens.
100%. But, this guy hurts kids, so.
I don't feel good about the idea of them taking anything at that house for themselves, to be honest.
I don't disagree. So, if things get damaged, not our fault.
Well, I'm keeping the journal here.
Sure. You doing okay, Thomas?
Yeah, I think so. It was quite a night, wasn't it?
It was a lot. You did great, though.
Thanks. I think I don't know. I just saw that I left everything upstairs and I just panicked, I guess.
seems like, if you don't mind me saying, you do best when there's a fire under your ass.
I guess there's a certain truth to that. Don't tell anybody else. What about you, though? I mean, Lillian breathing down your neck, and what about this girl?
Yeah,
Molly
I don't
May.
know. Oh, Molly. I thought you meant Lucy. Yeah, I'm at an impasse for that one. I've been setting it aside because she's. Did I wait? Did I? I don't think I explained that situation to anybody, right?
No, you didn't.
Mm.
Okay. So she needs help, but now we've got Lucy, and that sort of takes precedence. And gotta be honest, Thomas, I'm not above breaking that cell phone if they try to, utilize her. But Ollie needs help too, so if I can stick around, I need to get something from Rye House. I need to get a bracelet for her.
I wouldn't have any trouble breaking our connections to the Rye House either. You know, gonna look out for our own, and then help Molly May, if we can.
There's no more Instagram, you know that, right?
Why?
Why?
Do you think they're gonna send someone after us?
Yeah, I think they probably follow you.
Oh, well. So it's gonna be them and... Never mind. Yeah.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Exactly.
All right, I gotta go load all my guns again.
You do that.
I'm gonna log off.
I think as the morning slowly drags on, you're able to get everything you need together. Are any of you gathering anything specific? Besides
The
your...
way you ask that question.
Well, I mean, like, besides your regular gear, like, would you gather some more holy water, anything like that? Any magical things that you might need to outsource from the town is what I'm asking.
I mean... Oh, sorry. Someone else was going to.
Oh, I was gonna rib Thomas in the elbow and be like, so the plan is I hold your cigarettes so that you can keep telling Ben you don't have cigarettes. Yeah.
And so actually, I would say this happened in Thomas's bedroom where he spread a little towel and he placed multiple things on top of the towel, things he's going to take with him. And there's still a mess of notes on the floor everywhere. But there's the case with the cigarettes is definitely on that towel, along with 2 lighters. But yeah, he's not taking any chances. There's also his revolver, which he barely ever uses, and then the knife that Charlie gave him.
Okay.
And his, I would say his own, yeah, just a notebook.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
You're leaving the book behind, though. Are you taking like the page with the code or anything like that?
Yeah, I think he makes up his mind. He's gonna take the book with him, but he keeps this on his body.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay, cool. That's fair. Anyone else doing anything specific with you? Sunny, did you transform back? Are you transforming again? What's going on with that?
I think she transformed back. I don't think she stayed that way overnight. But I think she does sort of knock on the frame of Thomas's room, and she says, "Hey, I was wondering. I know you do a lot with your 21 herbs and spices. I was wondering maybe if there was something. I mean, my my bite is definitely stronger than my bark, but I can't really use that against these things, you know, and I was wondering if maybe there was something I could chew. That's gross. But like something so I'm not completely useless.
So you mean something that makes you immune when you bite them?
Or at least some kind of reduced effect.
And Katie, I will need your... Thanks, Greg. Katie, I will need your help with that. If like he would have some ideas, but you would have to tell me what it takes to.
Yeah, it's going. Let me look. I want to say it's going to be. It's definitely going to be a roll. I'm going to say it's just a weird roll. It's going to be some sort of magic, and we'll see if it has a glitch. The effect is going to be that it's, it's going to do something that's beyond human limitation. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to see if it's going to have a glitch or not. So give me a weird roll.
Yeah. So what this looks like is
like whether it's a herb that she chews or and it like coats her mouth or something, or
like
whatever you want.
Mouthwash.
Yeah,
mouthwash or something like that. But I was thinking when you go to not a dentist, but when you have your retainer fit, this awful process that you have to do where if you bite down on this thick paste and then when they take it out, it feels like they're taking all your teeth out with it. It's not going to be that awful. He's just going to make it like a clay paste, like really, it's almost like, it's not liquid. And then he mixes several herbs into it and does some fancy spell work around it. And well, let's see.
Okay, so do you want to use luck for this?
Yes.
Okay,
if I can petition, though, I almost like that there's sort of a glitch or a side effect.
Okay, so what glitch do you want, Petra?
I leave that up to Sunny if she
okay, so if you would like to pick Sunny, the glitch is the effect is weakened. It's of short duration. You take 1 harm. The magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect. I can tell you what I'm thinking of is that I think what it's going to be is that it's going to give you instead of getting paralyzed, it's just going to give you a -1 on your rolls. Because I think you're going to be fighting through it's going to be you fighting through the paralysis. It's going to ixnay the paralysis. You're going to be able to attack now, but it's going to give you it's just going to be that sort of trade-off that you're going to get a -1.
It's going to be harder to do it.
It's going to be harder to do it. So you're not going to be paralyzed. So you can now bite them. That's so you can finally do it because you can finally do your big thing, because because I think you have a role for that. You have a move that you can attack now. Yeah. You have a move especially for attacking, but that's just going to balance that out.
Yeah.
Unless you have a different idea of something you would rather do.
No, I actually like that because I need 1 failure to level up. So.
Okay, yeah. So
as he gives her the clay, he apologizes. I know it's not tasting too well, and I'm gonna be honest. I've never tried something like that. I feel good about it, but
listen, I really appreciate you trying, even if it doesn't work.
And then he leans forward and plants a kiss on her forehead. Just be careful.
You too. Bottoms up. And she sticks it in her mouth. Spits it back out.
What can I say?
It's great. It tastes great. You have a natural.
Get normal mouthwash in the bathroom.
Great.
As you all finish up preparing for your day ahead, you all load into what I'm assuming is Hanul's car. That's what you've all been using. Do you bring Lucy or not? Bring Lucy. You drive out into the forest outside of Brookings. And like before, you drive up into the driveway of the burned House of Solomon, and it looms in front of you. You hear Lucy make a little bit of a gasp as she sees it in front of her for the first time in a couple of weeks. What do you all do?
Do we have a plan before we just start going in? Wow.
Sorry, someone's phone's ringing.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too. Charlie.
I feel like Charlie would have a plan, but Seth is sipping on that good juice. So
I mean, Hanul had the idea that Lucy draws a map, or at least gives us an idea of what the layout is, right? Once we go through.
Well, I know exactly where the painting is that we have to press the digits into. The other thing I was thinking is I have a move called Past Lives, and I kind of wanted to take a quick breather and kind of see if I can tap into any of my previous lives to see if they have knowledge or advice to give. I was just frantically looking for the actual questions because I didn't write them down in Roll20. That's it for me.
The only other thing I have is my custom move. I've seen this before, so I can. I think it has to be it has to get dangerous for me to use it, but.
I mean, all of you can do. Anyone can do read a bad situation or investigate a mystery.
I also just remembered I still have 2 questions left from last
do.
time. Connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I will wait a little bit longer until we get down there to ask where the next big event is going to occur.
I'll read a bad situation.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Roll sharp. Well, that's that. Unless you'd like to use a luck, you still mark experience, so you'll get to level up.
I'm gonna.
I will say that with a fail, like regardless of what you do, that you get this serious sense of foreboding here that like something is, it feels like this is a very bad day. This is not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and burn one of those luck.
Okay. So on a 10 plus, you get hold 3. Remember that if you act on any of the answers I give you while the information is relevant, you get a +1 ongoing.
Okay. So my question.
And you can ask these at any time during this scene.
Okay.
You don't have to ask them all at one time.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask them, and then if you want to.
Okay, got you.
Sort of
That's fair.
Because I already know what I want to ask.
That's fair. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm basically just asking, what's my best way in? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? And what is the best way to protect the victims?
So your best way in is it's very simple. It's the portrait. That there's no other way in to where PbtA is. There's no other secret entrances. It's going to be the way that Hanul through that book, and then the way that Lucy the way that Hanul knows where the portrait is, and then the way that Lucy pointed out.
And we wouldn't need any other way to get into the house itself.
Yeah, I mean there's only that burnt entrance and then the west wing where the portrait is.
Cool.
And then what was the other one? Are there any dangers? Was that the other one?
That we haven't noticed.
No. Everything that you think might be dangerous is going to be past that portrait.
Okay.
And as far as you know, the only dangers you think might be down there would be the shadow things, and then PbtA himself, if he is indeed down there, which is what Lucy thinks is down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best way to protect the victims, keep Lucy alive, keep Lucy safe. Don't let PbtA get his hands on Lucy. Lucy right now is your prime victim to keep safe.
Mhm.
And Ben, of all people, knows that. Ben feels that in his bones right now.
Okay, then could I put 2 and 2 together that like Ben's gonna be the best?
Keep Ben safe so Ben can keep Lucy safe, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think she takes a hold of Lucy's hand and squeezes it and gives her a little smile, trying to push through the dread that she feels from this place.
I will tell you, though, it's probably going to be hard. It's going to be harder stopping Ben from going into danger than it's going to be harder stopping anything hurting Ben. Like it's that type of thing. Like Ben, it's going to be Ben's prime directive right now is to keep Lucy safe. Yeah. So you're going to have to probably stop Ben from hurting himself above anything else to keep Lucy safe.
Gotcha.
I would like to use. I've seen this before. If I'm allowed to use it now, I can wait also if I need to.
I've seen this before as more of a monster-based type of.
It's not like okay.
Not a. It can
It's
be
more
situational,
immediate.
but it's more of a charged type of thing. Yeah. Right now,
Okay.
there will be a time for it if you choose to use it, but it's not right now.
All right, I'll hold on to it then.
Katie, can I use Destiny's Plaything?
Yeah, it's the finale. I'll let you use it. Not supposed to use it as much as we've used it, but I don't care.
I get a vague hit about it with a 7 to 9.
All
I need to know is this it?
You feel that animalistic breathing on your neck, Ben. This is it. You hear that growl from the Minotaur. Oh, the jacket's off.
Ben leaves his jacket in the car.
Oh, sweet Jeebus.
I assume Ben gets out of the car as well before everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all see Ben, without a word, is out of the car heading toward the door. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, let's catch up. She, with a bit of an eyebrow twitch, gets out and tries to maintain the group.
I don't know if you heard on the phone, but I was going to try and really quickly like clutch my pendant and tap into my past lives to
Yes.
so it's not something Hanuel does very often because it is perturbing. It's weird to think that you can just look and experience your reincarnations, and it's still fairly new to them. But yeah, I can roll. I have the questions. I didn't type them into Roll20 because
I'll pull the book. I'll get the book out.
But
roll weird for me.
Cool. I'm probably gonna spend luck. Just giving you a heads up. Weird. Oh no.
Nice. Okay, let me look this up real quick. Okay, so on a 10 or more, a past life has something useful to offer. Ask the keeper 2 of the questions below.
Right.
What did a past life discover about blank? How did a past life deal with blank? What important hidden secret can a past life show me the way to? Why did a past life learn too late to help them? What does a past life advise me to do now? So what 2 questions are you asking? And what does this look like when you do it, Hanul?
It depends on how long people are lingering. Since I'm at the driver's seat, I don't let people see this jade pendant that I have with the 8 trigrams on it, and I take it out of my hoodie and I kind of just rub it like a wishing stone, close my eyes and start humming really low, and wow. So I ask 1 or 2?
2, because you got a
Cool.
you got a 10 or more.
Okay. I think what what did a past life learn too late to help them? And
I'll answer that one first, just in
Yeah.
case, like it doesn't overlap with another question.
sure.
You see this vision of this woman watching this man with a mustache. He's inviting her into this room, and he's inviting her, talking to her. He's inviting her further into this room, and he's talking to her about how things will be better. Things will be better when he gets his way, when he learns how he can go further, when he learns how to make things better. And she steps into this cylinder, this long cylinder, and you watch as the life drains from her. And it's almost like you're watching from outside and inside at the same time. And you see as she becomes one of those creatures, Hanul. But you but you also see that you see her live her life as this creature. You see she is helping others. She has those bright eyes. She's helping others find things. She's helping others try to defeat him, try to learn more about PbtA, try to move on. And you watch as her mind becomes tainted, as it becomes twisted, as she loses that little bit of humanity she has left. And you see as she gets evil, as she loses, not even evil, as she just loses who she is. And you see as those eyes begin to turn dark and they begin to turn red. And that's how you learn what those red things are. They are indeed these souls that have just lost who they are. They have lost themselves, and there is no helping them.
Oof. That's quite overwhelming with the senses. I'm afraid it might overlap, but I'm not. I kind of want to keep pushing.
If it's something that won't help you, I'll tell you as your keeper.
Okay.
I won't give you information that's not going to help you.
You're so sweet. What did a past life discover about?
Yeah, that one's it's going to overlap.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really understand the last question. What can specific past life blink?
Probably the best one to ask would be the third one or the last one.
Okay. Yeah, give me that important hidden secret.
Okay. You see this person in what looks like what looks to be like a doctor's or nurse's uniform sort of thing, outfit, holding this child, handing it over to a waiting mother, and has a very almost platinum looking blonde hair on their head, and the eyes you immediately know are Lucy's. And the person hands it to this very tired looking mother, and they smile. The mother smiles back up at them, and the nurse says, "This child's going to do amazing things." And as they walk out, you see them turn back and look at the door. And as they turn back around to descend down the hallway, they disappear in what looks like heavenly light. And that's when you come out of your vision.
Cool. If anyone's still in the car as I come out of it, you'll clearly see like big inhalation and over my eyes and
You
okay.
okay?
Get a hand on your shoulder.
I don't know much, and everything is still very, very new in this world. But I know one, Lucy is important beyond just being an object of power. And I look back at Lucy and like, you are brilliant and you are capable of doing great things, but only if you want to. The people you've lost and the people we've lost because of PbtA, they unfortunately are gone to the power, gone to the corruption, and we can't bring them back. So all we can do is stop it from happening again.
Lucy smiles at you. It's a sad smile, but she nods as if she understands. Well, let's go stop it.
We got your back.
She's going to get out of the car and follow after Ben.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna, like I said, never more than 10 feet away from her.
Yeah, she's going to head straight for that portrait that Hanul knows where it is as well.
Yeah, we can mosey on up.
Thomas and Sunny as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to the portrait and she makes sure she points out the code to you, Thomas. And it is a very simple numbered code, but it was just hidden amongst all of these other formulas and codes in this thing. It probably would have never been found out unless it was something that was pointed out to you. And she moves aside, sort of flips up the frame, the bottom where the nameplate is on this portrait. She flips it up and points it out to you and lets you type it in. And after a moment, the frame slides aside. You hear the mechanical whirring behind it. It slides aside, and in front of you, you see this corridor with stairs that lead down a spiral staircase into darkness. She looks behind at all of you, and she says, "That's where he would take us."
Then that's where we'll go.
I click a pen light on. If I can just have that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
No, you didn't say you had a pen light. You don't have it.
In the first episode, Charlie had a pen.
She had a flashlight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How do you remember that?
I don't remember anything.
I don't either.
I will go ahead and lead for now.
Ben slides on. I'm sorry, I was going to say, just Ben slides on his night vision goggles from the first episode as well.
His big rocket launcher over his shoulder too. It's there.
Good thing I've had this since episode 1.
It's canon.
You follow down, and it's honestly not. It's not that much deeper than the floor that Thomas fell into a couple of episodes ago. It's probably only a couple feet deeper than that. But you instantly notice the change in temperature as it gets cooler down here. And you continue walking down this very thin staircase. You get deeper and you come into what looks like a stone corridor. And as you do, it's almost like you flip a switch, Charlotte. A couple of I lost my train of thought. A couple of torches begin to light up as you go into this stone corridor that seems to be pretty long ahead of you. And Lucy pipes up. She says, we're heading the right way. It's dark in front of you the longer it goes, but there are two on either side, left and right, that are lit up now.
I think at this point, I would like to ask one of the questions from last time from Connect the Dots that I still had left.
Yes, go ahead.
Namely the one, I don't have the exact wordage in front of me, but when something like, when is the next, when or where? No, where is the next big event going to happen?
Yeah, when and where will the next critical event occur?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're coming up. You're on the right track.
Okay, I just wanted to see if I could figure out which of the doors it is.
Oh no, this is like one long corridor. There's no doors here.
Oh. Okay.
You're heading right, like Lucy pointed out. She said, you're on the right track.
Okay.
If that's, yeah, Lucy basically is telling you that you are heading straight for him.
All right.
She pipes up and says, they would take us down here. The Minotaur, they would walk with us down here. They would serve us a dinner, and then this would sort of be like our last walk. You sort of hear the breaking in her voice as she remembers it. You all continue to walk, and the torches on either side of the walls, they light up as you continue down. And in front of you is a large wooden door with a big metal handle, way bigger than used for, just a human. But it is closed in front of you. And all the torches are lit up, and you don't need your pin light anymore, obviously, Charlotte. And Lucy's sort of hanging back. Clearly, the courage is fading a little bit.
I think Sunny is sort of at the back of the group. She's been sort of taking up the rear. And as Lucy hangs back, I think she grabs her hand again and says, "We're all right here."
She nods, swallows hard, but she squeezes your hand, like sort of holding on for any bit of courage she can get from you.
Yeah.
That's where we go, past that door.
Ben will take off his night vision and try to open the door.
Yeah, there's no resistance. It swings open. And as it does, the torches in this room light up. And they're sitting in not an ostentatious sort of chair, but pretty nice chair in the middle of the room. You see a man. Either side of him are what looks to be like large metal cylinders that are fit for the size of humans. The sort of thing that's been described to all of you. This is the room that Lucy had talked about. There are bookshelves that line the room. There are a couple of desks with papers strewn all over them, open books. This seems to be a research laboratory. And you see this man. He's dressed in a well-tailored gray suit, leather loafers on his feet. But then as you get closer, you notice the facade fading as parts of the suit are singed. You notice that there are fine lines around his features, but most importantly, you notice that half of his face, even going on to the other half, is burned, completely sloughing off. You notice that the right side of him is also burned. Half of his sleeve of his suit is missing. You can see his skin wrinkled up and almost as if it's trying to heal, if it's trying to get better, but it's more scarred than anything now. And he's sitting there with his eyes closed, almost as if he hasn't noticed you, and it's complete silence There's no breath, nothing there. His chest isn't rising or falling. There's no movement. And you see one half of a little handlebar mustache there, head completely free of hair.
Have I seen this before?
I'll let you roll it. We'll see.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna roll sharp to rack my brain for a similar moment from past experiences.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use luck.
Okay. Okay, I'll let you use luck.
Whatcha? Okay, I'm gonna get gain a +1 forward to give myself the upper hand in this situation.
Okay. So you've never seen this exactly before, but you know enough from everything that's happened. This is definitely Aptera.
Okay.
And he doesn't look good. He's burnt. He's hurt. But
specifically, and I don't know if this question would be answered, but do I feel like it is a trap or an ambush?
You don't feel like it's a trash or ambush, but for someone who has been this burnt and hurt, he shouldn't look this still put together and in one piece.
Okay.
And Lucy, to you, Sunny, she just says, something doesn't feel right.
How so?
Well, look, he's not moving. There's something wrong.
Thomas looks behind, back into the corridor.
The door is still open. And let's read what that move does. Hanul, you look behind you and you see those shadows with the red eyes, not the normal ones. You see a swarm of the ones with the red eyes all over them descending upon your friends without them even noticing it. And you turn back and it hasn't happened yet, but you swore you saw it. And you hear a creak.
They're coming. There's more of them. What we fought before, there's so many more. You don't understand. You won't see them. They're here.
All of you look up and Aptera's eyes open. And it's almost like a wave rolls through the room. All of you will have a chance to act before you're attacked because of hunches. What will you do?
I'm just gonna unload in his chest.
Against who? Against him or against what you can't see yet?
I feel like if I took point, I should probably just hit him right now.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. And I have a +1 forward. Okay, so +1 forward just means like I get a +1 to this next roll. Is that how that
yes.
works?
Mm-hmm.
Righteous. Ting Pup. Well, I leveled up.
Are you going to use luck?
No, because I want to level up.
You level up if you use luck, even regardless.
Oh.
You still count your fails with luck.
Then fuck yes, I would like.
Did you advance? We decided you didn't advance your tough. Okay. Yeah.
No.
So
really quick, I'm just gonna leave no one behind so I can help. I can help someone escape better.
Okay. Yeah. So what damage does this do? Are you still using your area effect?
I mean, technically, I don't know if just doing it against one person changes anything, but yeah, just a burst fire, and it was just almost more to see what happens.
And how much does this do?
Does 3 harm.
Okay. Okay. You fire off, and he stays sitting as this hits him. It does more damage to the area around him, the 2 cylinders beside him, but you watch as a little bit of a smile appears on his face and a loud laugh begins to echo out through the room. What do the rest of you do?
I think Sunny pulls Lucy sort of in front of her and kind of to get her close to her chest and protect her.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing? You're going to protect someone?
Yeah.
Okay, roll plus tough. Okay. You pull her out of the way. Are you pulling her to a certain location, like behind something, underneath a desk, something like that?
I'm protecting her with myself, so sort of using myself as a shield.
Got you. Hanul, Thomas, or Ben?
So when Hanul said they're coming, did they look back from where we were coming?
What direction did you look in, Hanul? Because that's where they were. They seemed to be coming from the corridor.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I looked behind me, that was where the corridor that we came from was.
Thomas briefly looks at the doors, but he doesn't necessarily think it's a good idea to close the doors. So, I hope that still counts as normal magic. He would try to conjure a barrier using spirit energy, spirit magic, to sort of maybe a little bit out into the corridor. Also to get an idea how close they already are. And it's really vexing him that he can't see them.
Yeah, roll weird for me.
Oh, actually, I think I'm going to use my advantage.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get even better. No.
Roll a d4 for me.
All right.
Okay, so you feel them. You know they're close. You said you wanted to try to make a barrier.
Yeah, sort of. He's moving his arms out in front of him. He's literally like if they start to bash against them, I'm not sure how powerful you allow me this wall to be, since it's not magic, but he would literally have to put his weight, like physically and mentally, to keep that up. And
Gotcha.
Hanul would see this shimmery bluish wall sort of
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. And you can feel them coming very quickly. Ben, Hanul, what are you doing?
Riding off the hunches, I would like to jinx the situation in my favor. And depending on how I roll, I'm not sure how I want to do this, but rolling plus weird. 12.
Okay.
12.
What are you doing?
All right, so like you kind of see Hanul reach out, hand, almost Baby Yoda style. It's not, I'm just saying. And I want on a 10 plus hold 2. Okay. Currently I want to help Ben, because I've seen what Ben can wield and what power he unleashes. I want to help Ben and give a +1 forward.
Okay.
With the shimmering wall that Thomas put up, I'm hoping I can interfere to like make them stumble or do something with the enemy, just to help that situation.
Okay. And Ben, what are you doing?
Ben is going to use his move, the big entrance, to try to draw every eye, hook, claw, tooth, and nail to him.
Okay.
So I get to roll a cool here, and I get +1?
Yes, you get a +1.
Awesome. Let's do this. 9. I think those pluses. So it still works. I get to do it on one person, though. I can hold one person. So if you would allow me, anybody that gets close to Sunny and Lucy, that's the person I want to draw back into. That's the enemy that I want to draw to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Charlotte, your attack does hit Aptera. But you watch as he raises a very slow hand and sort of flicks his fingers forward. And that same shot comes back to you. And you're going to take 3 harm.
Woo! Alright. We'll take 2 with armor.
You hear Lucy scream out, "No!" as she's scared that the people who are protecting her are coming down to this. Then all of you see these creatures begin to form in the room. 2 of them stopped by Thomas's border, but there are 5 of them. These are even bigger than you've ever seen before. Eyes all over their body, looking like some sort of shadowed form of the classical sort of angels you've seen, eyes all over their bodies. And they're terrifying. They're huge shadows, and they're coming after you. Aptera's attention seems to be on Charlotte as she is the one that's attacked him. That laugh still echoing through the room. Charlotte, what are you doing? You've just been hit with your own weapon that you shot at Aptera.
Yeah, I kind of stumble back and I peel the hot lead off of my flak vest and look at it and like, fuck you. And I just like power walk around and I start like ignoring him as best I can, ignoring all the other like spirits. I'm gonna start searching for anything that I could even reasonably assume would be any kind of phylactery.
I will have
especially I also want to check out the silver cylinders.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna have you roll for that just because we're in combat, that kind of. No, I'll have you act under pressure. Real cool, just because of what this is.
Don't mind if I do, because I am so cool.
Yeah, I was trying to give you something that would work for you.
I appreciate it. Hey, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you don't see a phylactery. There's not anything that like is keeping him alive, but you do hear him say, "You won't find anything."
That remains to be seen.
You can't break a deal with a demon. The demon has to come for me. And I've given him exactly what he wants, except that one. And Sunny, you feel a pull, like something is trying to pull Lucy from you.
No. I'm holding on.
No.
Both arms around her.
Are you trying to act? I want you to act under pressure, trying to pull her. Roll cool for me.
No. Fuck! I'm using luck.
Well, you can mark experience, and you're doing what you set out to do. You're not letting him get her yet. You hear she's struggling with you, like she is not letting. She's fighting against him as well. She is holding on to you as tight as she can.
Mm-hmm.
Hanul, what are you doing? I'm sorry, this would be Thomas, actually.
So just to make sure I understand that right, so this wall was blocking off the entrance to the room because the monsters were coming from from where we're coming.
Mm-hmm. You've blocked 2 of them. There's 5 total, so there's 3 in the room. You've blocked 2 of them successfully. They can't seem to, even with their shifting and shadow movement, they can't seem to break past your magic.
Okay.
And these are huge. These are bigger than you've ever seen them.
And so would you allow me, does the wall, is it stable? Can I leave
Yeah,
it
it's stable.
There?
You can
Cool.
definitely, yeah.
then he would turn around and just focus on one of them and do something similar to what he did the night before, but just focusing on one of them. Just the whole focusing inwards again, trying to conjure up the spirit fire once more.
Yeah, roll weird.
So if it's just on one of them, that would be just considered normal magic?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's only big when it's going to take a lot out of you the more you use it, but just one of them, it's going to be regular, even at this size.
Using luck.
Yeah, mark your experience. And yeah, you're good. It's going to take 1 harm. And you watch as the fire begins to burn at it, that loud hissing. This is even louder than before. These things are very unhappy with what you're doing. But it is definitely beginning to hurt.
All right.
What about you, Hanu?
Wow.
You still have 1 forward from your jinx, but you can also act if you want to do something else.
Sure. I think
You're also, I don't know if you can also use magic. You are a magic user. You don't have to stick to your list of moves. You can also do something else. You can do something outside of human limitations.
say what?
Yeah, you're a magic user.
Oh, little to Hanel's knowledge. I think I'm confident enough that I just want to pull my handgun out and pew pew the one closest to me.
Yeah, we'll say that one is the one that Thomas just lit on fire, if that's cool with you.
Sick.
Yeah,
Tough,
kick some ass, roll tough.
Tough.
Okay. It's going to, it's going to try, it's sort of moving around in this fit of panic from being lit on fire. It's going to get very close to you after you shoot it.
Okay.
And as it does, you feel that burning. You're going to take 2 harm.
Okay.
But you're going to do the same amount of damage to him, correct?
Yes.
Is your handgun 2 harm? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's still standing, but you managed to do a good fair bit of damage to it.
Okay. I kind of want to use that hold on the jinx.
Uh-huh.
And if possible, the shot while they're flailing cause an accident to the target to inflict 1 extra harm.
Yeah, okay. Who are you going to do that for? For yourself?
The one that I was shooting at.
Okay, yeah. And then you watch as it dissipate. That fire suddenly flares up really bright, and you watch as it dissipates into the air. Ben, what's your next move?
Ben sees all of his friends are in battle in circumstances that are dire, and he'll turn his full attention to the being in the chair, and he starts swinging his flail, stepping through it, stepping on the chain as he continues to weave his dance, and smiles. And I am going to use a luck to do a 12 here, and I'm throwing every ounce of harm I can into my weapon to punch into this cat. So with a 12 plus, I can
Whoa.
Whoop. Whoop.
Let me see, with a 12 plus, I will be doing 5 harm, 6 if it's magic based.
Okay.
So.
Give me that sweet D4. Thanks.
Okay. What does this look like, Ben?
Oh yeah, I should roll first to see if I even need luck. Thank you, mysterious benefactor, who told me I should do that.
Thanks, Summer.
Where did that come from? Yeah, I'll use it anyway.
Also, we just got a $20 tip.
Holy smokes.
I don't know what that does, but it's $20 tip.
All of us get a plus D4 on one roll of our choosing.
Heck yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quite thank you very much, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Save Lucy. We certainly shall. Okay, so yeah, that's the ticket, the spin. If he can get Charlotte's eye, it would just be a recognition that as long as Ben can stand, he'll hold off this guy. As long as he can, he's going to stay between them.
Gets a nod back.
You swing your mace toward Aptera, and Aptera catches it in his hand. You hear a loud, like, oof, as it does hit him. It cracks his hand. You can see the skin slough off, and he just pushes it back gently, and it hits you square in your chest. Ben, you're going to take 6 harm. Does that knock you out?
You have armor?
I have armor, and that takes me to the spider.
Okay.
Did you use your +1 earlier?
I did.
Okay.
So if I can, Ben's going to take this, and for the first time in anybody that's ever been around Ben for the longest period of time would hear him cuss as he says to the person in the chair, "Yeah, you're a goddamn hero when you're against a kid," and he charges.
Okay. Remember, Ben, as the chosen one, if you use all your harm, you have to spend 1 luck.
I know.
To come back.
I know.
Charlotte, you see this happen. You hear Ben curse for the first time. You see how this barely seems to affect Aptera. What do you do?
With my last check, did I get everything I felt like I was going to get out of checking out those silver cylinders?
What you know from these silver cylinders, this is basically how he steals the souls.
Okay, so
this is how he transfers the souls, the life force from the people into him to continue going. And you basically learned that what he's promised to Paimane, that he hasn't delivered because he hasn't given them that uncorruptible soul from Lucy.
Okay, so ostensibly, I could damage these ?
Attempt to. You did do some damage earlier.
All right. Kind of getting slightly panicked, looking around and seeing a Ben charge. She's just going to bring the rifle up and just try a spray down of one of them to see if she can break something, blow some holes in it, and do some damage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for this because this isn't an actual like human or anything. Cool. What I'm going to have you do is just see how big the damage is. Give me a D4.
Can I add the D4 to it?
Yeah, you can if that's where you want to spend it.
Sure.
So just give me a D8.
Okay. Could it be 2D4 instead?
Because statistics.
Could it be 2D4?
Yeah, it can be 2D4.
I love Katie. Katie loves me.
5. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. Are you trying to do for one at a time?
Yeah, that was my plan.
Okay. Yeah, you get one of them. It's basically busted. You don't think it can be used anymore. You blow it up, knock the fur, like you sort of crush the top half of it. It's completely
I'll Spartan kick it over after I blast it.
Yeah, you can go up and do that. But yeah, anything else you need to do?
No, but I'm curious to see if Aptera feels stressed about this.
He doesn't look happy. He turns his head a little bit. You can't. He's not looking at you, but you do see his profile as he turns to look at it.
I'm like, who's laughing now, fucker? Like, I'm rushing for the other one.
Sunny, you've seen Ben do this, and you've heard what he said about Lucy. You managed to save her now. What else are you doing? These creatures, you've noticed that one of them has put its sights on you.
Okay. Can I take a quick inventory of what is going on around me? Like, have these creatures sort of descended upon us, or
One has descended upon you. Two of them are still fighting with Hanul and Thomas. Ben has been basically thrown back after attacking Aptera. Charlotte has attacked one of these. I keep saying attacked one of these cylinders.
how close is Ben's been thrown back? How close has he been thrown to Lucy and I?
I would say within a couple of steps.
Okay.
He's in protective distance.
Yeah, I think as she's sort of hunkered down and holding on to Lucy, she says, I'm gonna hit that monster. Do you think you can get to Ben?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. And she's gonna turn around, and she's gonna let go of Lucy and lunge at the monster to bite it.
Roll tough. Kick some
I'm
ass.
actually gonna roll weird because I have that now.
You have that move. That's why you wanted to level up.
Yeah. Do I take -1 to the attack or -1 to the harm? Because of my...
I think -1 to your roll.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
so
a 10.
yeah. Oh yeah, and you put it in there, so that's perfect. So you choose one extra effect. Take +1 forward and give +1 forward, or give +1 forward to another hunter. Inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, or force them where you want them.
I don't think I need to inflict terrible harm. I'm gonna give +1 forward to Ben.
Okay. You bite out. I think you feel a little bit of a tingle, even despite, your special Invisalign. And I think that's where your harm comes from, is that you fighting through the paralysis, that's where you're going to take your harm. But what does your bite do? What harm do you do?
It does 4 harm.
Oh, nice. This thing dissipates immediately as you chomp down on it. And you just feel it immediately all go away in your mouth.
Well, it probably tastes bad.
Yeah, there's actually no taste, so it works pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Thomas.
How many are still of the shadow? Oh God, this is stressful.
2.
How many?
2 left.
Okay.
Besides the ones that are being held by your barrier.
Okay, but they're basically, they're still trying. So, sorry, the 3 that made it through, they're all gone.
No, there's 2 of those left.
Oh, 2 of those left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm sorry. 1 of those left. Just 1. I forgot about the one that Hanul did kill. There's 1 left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's 1 left, and then there's 2 by the barrier.
Yeah, he looks back and forth, sort of really torn, and he is worried that the 2 that are held by the barrier right now are going to break through at some point, and at some point they will have to deal with him anyway, so he's gonna sort of use the energy that forms this barrier and just pushes more energy in it and sort of pushes it forward, or at least tries to just burn through these 2 motherfuckers. And I'm happy to pay with one more luck.
This is gonna be big magic, and I think this is gonna be, I'm just gonna say 2 harm.
Okay. Yeah.
No luck, but 2 harm.
Yeah.
Roll weird for me, if that's okay with you, Petra. I don't want to take
it
away
is, because I have no harm right now, so okay. I can spend that.
Yeah, roll
By
weird
the
for
way,
me.
what happens when you use up all your luck? What does it
You
mean?
just don't have it anymore. Some playbooks have special things that happen.
Okay.
But then other ones, it's just you're gone. You don't have it that backup anymore.
Okay. Hold on.
Everyone else's playbook says doomed on the end of that track, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure that wasn't just me.
And we did get this is 1d4, right?
You can add 1d4 to your roll.
Do I have to call it before?
Yes, call it before.
Cool. I'm gonna
Anything
do- yeah.
donated, call before. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I will do that. So first normal roll. So 11 in total.
Yeah. What does this look like? Just sort of a big burst of energy.
Yeah, he stretches out his hand again, and there's a strain on his face. That would hurt. The strain on his face as the same bluish aura starts to flame up around him again, and his eyes start to light up, and he, you just pushes against it, and this wall, it almost breaks down only to engulf the two of them.
Yeah, it does. You don't even see them dissipate because this big blast pushes them back down so far the corridor. You don't know what happens to them, but they don't seem to come back. And at this point, Lucy, as she's running to Ben, she grabs your hand and she says, I'm not going to let this happen. And she runs past you, Ben, to put herself between you and PbtA, and she just screams out, "No." And you all watch is very similar to what happened to you, Ben, that bright light, almost blinding, absorbs around her. And I'm going to do this. It blasts from her very strongly straight to him. And Ben, it almost hurts you the way that she's putting herself in danger. You feel like you have to protect her. But all of you watch as he erupts into flames again, and he stands up from this chair, and you hear him go, "I will not be defeated by a child." Hanul, what are you doing? As he's walking toward her, erupted into flames, sort of like what Thomas does to these spirits sometimes. There's still one spirit left, and then there's PbtA heading toward Lucy.
Okay. Narratively, I think this is the right thing. Mechanically, not really, but who cares for optimization, right? Okay, so as I see him walking towards Lucy, and I want to interfere, and I want to jump in front of him, and I pull a big knife out of my hoodie pocket that I've been holding on to this whole time. And I want to run at him with a full force and interfere with him and stab him in the gut.
Roll tough. Oh my god. Yeah, so not only are you going to inflict harm, you can choose an extra effect. You gain the advantage, take +1 forward, or give +1 forward. You inflict terrible harm, so +1 harm. You suffer less harm, -1 harm, or you force them where you want them.
I definitely want to force them where I want them, because I want them as far away from me as possible.
Okay, what does this knife do? How much harm does it do?
It only does 1 harm.
Okay.
But the goal was to stop him effectively from getting closer to Lucy. And
He's going to, as you dig it into you said in his gut?
Yeah.
You dig the knife into his gut, and he does stumble backwards. It flies out of him right into you as well. You're going to take the same amount of harm.
Okay.
But he is back. Ben. You've seen all this happen. You have that need in you to protect her. He's back away from her, but what do you do? And you've got that, this could be it, Ben.
Ben runs forward, and for a moment he dips down into the perfect, like, Kevin Bacon slide as he hits both knees and he slides by Lucy. He spins her so she's looking at him, but he makes eye contact with her, smiles, and says, "Look away now." And he turns around, and with the blood pouring out of his chest, he runs, and I'm going to use the D4 to inflict as much ass-kicking harm on this thing as I possibly can.
Yeah, roll tough.
Damn. I am shaking and can't remember how to do this. Okay. I'm going to spend luck anyway.
Okay. On a plus 12, you get your advanced effect, enhanced effect.
Yeah.
So you can double the normal harm. What would that be?
8.
Then how do you kill PbtA?
I want him to feel as uncomfy as possible. So he takes it, he spares one last look at all of his friends as he gets out of his Kevin Bacon slide, turns Lucy away so she can't see what's going to happen, and as he leaps through the air, his eyes go to Hanul, to Thomas, to Sunny, finally resting on Charlotte as he smiles again, kind of shrugs his shoulders and brings it down. This time it's not spinning, it's wrapped around his arm. The head that danced with the spikes in it for so long is just, he's palming it like you would a basketball, and he brings it down on top of PbtA's head.
PbtA's head crunches. You all hear it, the uncomfortable sound. And almost for a moment, you think that it's not enough. But that last shadow fades, and you watch as he falls. And Ben, you feel the pain go away. And you feel that for the first time in a very long time, you don't have anything to do. You don't have a mission. And you feel at peace. All of you see Ben there, broken on the ground. And Lucy rushes over to him. You all see your friend probably in the last moments of his life. But with no more great mission to fulfill, probably at the most peace in his life as well.
Thomas would walk over, kneel neck down next to him, sort of trying to smile, fails terribly at it. And he says, "Don't worry, gonna patch you back up. You know, don't forget about our date, right?"
He smiles. Jacket. And then he looks over at Charlotte.
Staring at you stoically with a tensed jaw.
The hand that's not shattered from the shot would lift up, beckoning Charlotte closer.
She very gently sets down her assault rifle on the desk and goes over and kneels down by him and picks up his hand.
He would, as his muscles begin to fail, slowly move the hand that you offer palm up, and he would rest his weapon in your hand. Your turn.
And I can't.
You were always next.
I'm gonna be mad at you this time.
Okay.
She stands up.
I think Thomas's eyes begin to glow one more as he tries to see beyond the veil. Just to see if he can see Ben leaving.
Ben would take the hand and beckon it towards Thomas, but his eyes would drift to Hanul and Sunny. Not to Lucy, just to those he was, to his family. And he would smile at Hanul, smile at Sunny. And Thomas, if you get close, he's going to kiss you. But he would see in your eyes his soul drift out of his body.
And I think as we see Thomas leaning over Ben, sort of gently placing his head back on the floor, just says, "Goodbye, Ben, right?"
I want to speed forward a couple of weeks. Hanul, what do we find you doing in just a couple of weeks after everything's sort of cleared up?
In the aftermath, knowing, being able to confirm that everyone is relatively okay, making sure Lucy is taken care of. Hanul's single-driven force is just finding Ben. Like, Hanul wasn't ready to let go. I don't think the whole team was ready to let go, and we needed more time. And I've only been able to tap into my own past lives, and it's just driving me mad. And that's the only thing I'll be working towards.
Thomas. Oh, we'll come back. Sunny, what about you?
Yeah, I think from where she was in the fight after Ben's soul leaves, I think she walks over and sort of almost instinctually, she bends down and sort of closes his eyes and brushes his hair out of his face, and sort of puts her one hand on Ben and one hand on Thomas, and then we sort of cut forward to Sunny in her apartment. And I think she's cooking breakfast. She still has her white lab coat on, and she turns around, serving 2 plates over the kitchen island. And she circles around where we see Lucy sitting on one bar stool and Thomas sitting on the other. And she gives them both a quick kiss on the head and grabs her keys and waves as she runs back out the door to work.
Thomas?
I would say when we see Thomas back again, he's in his apartment and he is standing on one side of his living room. And in the background, we see Mr. Diaz just sitting on the kitchen island, talking to a neighbor that has long since left this world, just going through the motions, talking about baseball games. And Thomas stands by the wall, and he says, "Well, Mr. Diaz, here we go. There's nothing." And then he wipes his hand over the wall, and just for effect, there's almost like a ripple going through the room as he takes down the wards, or at least one of them. And he sort of begins to tune in, and it immediately gets louder around him, and he can see all sorts of spirits, some just little motes of lights, some kind of fleshed out. And he says, "All right, I'm here. No more hiding. But I expect you to respect my privacy. So," and then he thinks for a second, "this is my dance space. And beyond the veil, that's yours. Okay? So no unexpected calls at 3 a.m. in the morning. Knock. Ugh. Gonna be a good residential witch from now on, so if you need any help, just send me a note." And then he just waits for a moment, sort of kind of fearing that everything is going to backlash at him. But then the murmur subsides. And then he smiles and he walks into his bedroom, sort of mumbling, "Well, that was easier than I expected." And on the chair in his bedroom, there hangs Ben's jacket. And he hasn't touched it since then, but he's taking it off the chair now and sits down on his bed and just holds it in his hand. Greg, you said you just made a comment in the.
Yeah.
in
Ben,
chat.
if you'd like to describe what was in your jacket.
There was a note to Charlotte, and it says, "I already gave you your gift, but I still love you." As Thomas would go through the pockets, Thomas would find one of those subscription cards that you find in magazines that had been partially filled out, but obviously there had been a mistake, so it had been crumpled and put into the jacket. But Sonny, as you would be leaving for work, your first issue of Vogue would show up that Ben had bought a subscription for you. There would be a note in there to Hanul that would say, "This jacket's yours. It's like a hug, and it's comfy all the time." And the last thing in there would be a little metal box, and inside you would find essential oils and edibles that mimic the effects of cigarettes. And on the outside of the metal box, it says, "Tom's Golden Years."
Yeah, I think he would just sit there and just shake his head and just... Bastard, Ben, right? Why are you like this?
Charlotte, you, after a couple of weeks, get a letter in the mail. You feel it, and it feels like a tape.
Also, just as a side note, at this point, her head is shaved except for a Chelsea girl bangs and side clothes. She looks at it and kind of furrows her brow and I think heads home and literally might need to get something to play it on.
Yeah. And if you have your Roll20 audio up.
I believe I do.
Hey, Charlie. It's me. I don't know if or when you'll get this, but I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. Sorry that it happened the way it did. Our timing was never very good, was it? Anyway, I should have told you when I was alive, but I don't know if I'll have another chance, so now has to be good enough. I love you. Now, I don't want you to go feeling obligated to help me or anything, okay? Your safety is one of the very few things that matters to me more than getting out of here. The Rye House is honestly fucked up, and I don't know what they'll do to you. I just want you on their good side as long as possible. Even if they are just a piece of shit masquerading as some kind of group of do-gooders. But listen, if there's ever a day you have the chance, I would really love to get the fuck out of here. If you can't save my body, don't worry about it. Just take the bracelet and run. I'll be okay. Well, stay safe, Charlie. I'll see you when I see you. I love you.
With like no expression on her face, she just gently hits the eject on it, and like it's a sacred, reverent object, sets it down next to the thing. Takes off her coat, and she's just got this flak vest underneath it, and she goes over to this chest and wraps this length of chain around her hand and pulls it up and goes outside, kind of like looks at the horizon for a little while, and then just starts training.
That's where we'll end our campaign of Monster of the Week, Samhain.
Fuck you, Summer. What the hell?
Guys, she did that 15 minutes before we went live.
God.
Oh my god.
That's my best friend. How can we fuck with Seth?
Every time.
Y'all, that was so
God.
good. Thank you so much for such a good campaign. Despite all my internet issues this whole season.
Dude, that fucking rocked. That was amazing.
Oh yeah. I've kept you guys so long we can go around and do outros. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll start with Jess.
Hello, I'm Jess. That was a roller coaster of emotions. Real quick, I just have to say, like, of all the streams I've done, this channel has been, like, holistically the best in terms of, like, never did I ever feel pressured to perform. It was always about our personal well-being and our mental health, And like, even if that meant missing a couple sessions in our season and making it clipped short, it obviously we're like in tears, so it didn't matter. It was that good still. So I really appreciate being taken along for this ride. Yeah, you can find me at Burst of Hope on Twitter. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you could do it. I was like, who am I? I got to ask Jazz. I haven't played with them in forever, and I wanted you in the campaign, so I'm so glad you could do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Seth.
Yo, fuck. That was I mean, not that I had any doubt really, but man, it's so nice to get into a game where, I mean, and like, in like the sadness aside, like get into a game where just immediately once the momentum starts, there's no more like nervousness, and like I just want to get my stuff in, and then everything gets thrown back, and it was great. And it was so nice to, I love the feeling of being like, how the fuck am I going to keep up with everybody else? Because it like you get all these character moments, and you're like, that was so good. Now I have to think of good stuff. This is a really good game. I'm Seth. I can be found at _sender on Twitter and Twitch. That's it.
Bingo, ding dong.
Ding-a-ling, Deuteronomy.
Ding dang, dang-a-lang.
Yeah, first off, I am blown away by all of you. This was so much fun. This was such a good game. Thank you guys so much. You can find me on Twitter at Where's My Dingus. That's gonna be the best place to find out what all I'm doing.
Petra, who has now cried in every game I've been involved with her in.
I'm feeling a lot of feelings right now. I think yeah, I need some more hours. Technically I'm getting close to bedtime, but I will need several more hours to digest this. My heart is full. This was the first campaign for me in way too long. And I really, really needed that. And this was just a perfect, I'm tearing up again. This is awful. The perfect mix of like funny and spooky dark and heartfelt. And I just have to say, Greg, you were a little bit angry at Thomas the first episode when I got in, the banishment thing. I think I'm a little bit angry at you that you stole that date from Thomas and Ben, because I think that would have been fucking hilarious. Can we get a second season if he becomes a necromancer? No, that's not good. Anyway, I'm Petra. You can find me on Twitter, and from there you can get to my itch page if you want to check out the games I wrote and published. And yeah, on Twitter you will also find out the latest about my last game, my newest game, can't speak anymore, which is a supernatural one-shot, and I'm soon going to release the beta version.
I'm Katie. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Katie Face. I'm not going to keep us long since we ran an hour over anyway. I just want to say thank you to everyone for playing this with me. It was wonderful. I've seriously never had a bad group of Monster of the Week players. This is my favorite game to run. I love this game. It's probably, I've only played once in a campaign of Monster of the Week. So I clearly love to run it. It's like my favorite thing to do. It's such a fun game. It has a lot of possibilities. And thank you, Greg, for letting me run this on your channel. Literally such an honor. And I'm glad you put up with me in my craziness. But yeah, thanks to all of you for letting me do this. It was a great time. And I loved the sads at the end. Should have known anything I was involved with was going to get sad at some point. Come on. And then Greg playing a good boy, should have known there was a catch. Come on. But yeah, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Katie Face. That's the best way to know what I'm doing. Tonight, though, you can find me on Off the Table playing Lady Blackbird. That's the only thing I'll pitch for tonight.
Fantastic, my friends.
You are muted for us, even though the stream can hear you.
The stream can hear me. Oh, my friends. First off, Katie, yeah, it was just such a damn chore to play with this group and have you run a fantastic campaign. I don't know how I got through it. I mean, this is like breaking rock. No, this is absolutely the best. Several people I haven't had a chance to play with before, or play with for a while, and it's just been an absolute joy. Every week, it was better and better and better. It's a thing. You do a bunch of games. That's always, it's fun to play games. It's in the verb play, but I like the other verb make. I like to make friends, and I made friends. I hope this session with some fantastic people, and just got to experience front row some world-class RPing and absolute workshop technique driven game mastering by Katie, who again did one of the sessions with horrible internet, and you never would have known had it would not been mentioned. So incredible stuff. I don't have anything. I'm just going to say this. Everybody, unfortunately, this show will not be back next week as the campaign has ended, but we will have a new show coming in this time slot. It is Call of Cthulhu. It is based after BioShock. It is called Rapture Below. It is also a mini-series, so catch us next week as we dive down to the Sea of Rapture, New Year's Eve, 1959. We've got Gloss and Gadgets. We've got Scraticus. We've got Alice is there as well, White Rabbit Pick. We've got Hot Flakes Tom, who's in chat. And we also have Mythmatic, who will be there as we go crazy in a fun world. But with that aside, I am shooketh and very happyeth at the same time. So, Katie, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to... Okay.
Just thank you again. This was great. And thanks to all of you. It was a great game to run.
Thank you all. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play and break the curse of PbtA.
You did it! You did it!
We'll see you next time, friends.